You know that feeling when you look at a logo or a word you just designed and something feels off? You zoom in, you move things around, you tweak a curve here and there, but it still doesn't look quite right. Well, you're not alone. Most designers use type every day, but very few actually understand how letters are built. And that's what makes all the difference. In this video, I will show you 3 simple lettering fixes that will instantly make your typography look more professional. And once you see them, you will never unsee them. I am Martina Flor, lettering artist, author, and educator. I've spent more than a decade working with international brands, teaching designers, and writing books about how to turn your creative skills, and especially lettering, into a fulfilling career. But before all that, I was just like most designers. I thought typography was about choosing the right font, adjusting the kerning, and aligning the text. It wasn't until I started drawing letters myself that I realized something. Understanding letter forms completely changed how I saw design and made me a better designer. Here's why this is so powerful. Most designers use type. They don't design it. But once you know how letters are built, your eye gets sharper. You start seeing rhythm, balance, and proportion everywhere, in logos, in packaging, in book covers, even in signage. And when you start noticing those details, you become a better designer overall. Because these small optical corrections, the ones I will show you today, are what separate amateur work from professional work. These flaws are everywhere, but they are invisible until you know what to look for. Let's start with the first one. Why your O looks smaller. Have you ever noticed that round letters like O or S look smaller next to straight letters like H or E, even when they are exactly the same height? That's because letters are not geometric shapes. They are optical shapes. Curved letters need something called overshoot. That means that they extend slightly beyond the baseline and the cap height or X height to look the same size as the others. Here's a side-by-side example. Without overshoot, your O feels like shrinking. But when you extend it just a little, it suddenly feels balanced. This is one of those tiny adjustments that completely change how your word looks. And most people won't even notice you did it, but their eye will feel the difference. Quick tip, next time you're designing a logo or lettering, zoom in and check your round letters. If they look smaller, give them that little stretch. You will see everything else start to fall into place. The next one has to do with balance, specifically the space under your letter P. Most designers draw letter P as a B without the belly. When that happens, it creates too much white space underneath. It looks like it's floating and it creates this extra gap in the word. The fix is easy. Reduce that white space just a little so that the word reads more evenly. See how much more stable it looks? That's because design is about visual balance, not symmetry. You're designing for the eye, not for the grid. When I teach this in my lettering courses, this is the one that surprises people most. How a few millimeters can completely change the weight and the feel of a word. Clients can tell why it looks better, they just know that it does. That's the power of training your eye. Now let's fix a tricky one, diagonal strokes. If you draw all your strokes with the same thickness, your diagonals will always look thinner than your verticals and horizontals. So look at this example where I took the stem of letter I, I skewed it to create the diagonals in the A, and I rotated it to create the middle stroke. As a result, the diagonals look thinner than the verticals, and the horizontals look thicker than the verticals. To fix it, make your diagonal strokes slightly thicker and your horizontal strokes slightly thinner. This is a small change that makes your letters look more consistent and more balanced. Remember that perfect geometry doesn't equal perfect design. You have to design for how things look, not how they measure. And that's what separates a good designer from someone who is just moving shapes around. Let's do a quick recap. Today you have learned to add overshoot to your round letters so they look even, to adjust the white space below the P so that it looks more balanced, and to make diagonals slightly thicker to keep them visually consistent. These are small details, but they make a big difference in the quality of your design work. If you found this helpful, I created a free PDF guide called What Most Designers Miss About Letter Forms. It includes 3 more fixes that I didn't show here, plus you can print it out and keep it on your desk to help you spot and fix these issues in your designs. You can download it for free at martinaflor.com/fix or scan this QR code. It's short, visual, and it will completely change the way you see typography. If this video helped you see your letters differently, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and share it with the designer who loves details as much as you do. And don't forget, download your free guide, What Most Designers Miss About Letter Forms, at martinaflor.com/fix. Keep training your eye, because the more you see, the better you design.